Here we are in our scanner, our stock chart, and our option spread tables. We want to see how the NASDAQ is going, and we're up slightly, of 4 cents. Next, we turn our attention to the scanner, and we have various charts labeled here. We have the major stock, last, percent change, high volume last, put call volume, implied volatility historical, the implied volatility change, option volume percent, and the stock average trading volume. Here we find the gold miners raising slightly to 2.85%. And what we really want to look at is the IV change. This is part of our volatility voltage metric. And because it's moving rapidly, accelerating very well, we next look at the chart. And I've had this set at 2 days and 15-minute candles. Now that I may be getting closer to making a trade, I want to look at the 5-minute chart. And as you can see here, it's steadily climbing after 9:30 open. Next, we look at what the spread is. Okay, for NUGT, we find that we've got a pretty tight spread here. Only a matter of cents. The only trouble I see with this particular trade could be the option volume. I really like to see in the thousands of contracts traded. So I go down my list and I see NVIDIA, healthy option volume at 9.6 thousand contracts. We have a positive IV change. We have a nice stock volume change. We look at the chart and we see a very high spike here, right at 9:30. We see the RMI trending sharply upwards. I'm going to close some of these things so I can look at my tables a little bit better. We see some pretty good statistics here. Put call volume is 0.33, means our calls are way actively traded than puts. Option volume of 13.8 is very healthy. Option volume percent change is 7%. The historical volume close is 51%. Means we're way up in terms of option volume. The option implied volatility is 54%. I'd expect this to be around 24 normally. So this is a very good indicator to show positive upward movement. Option implied volatility change at 2.2, very healthy. It's positive. And we see the same metric here in our scanner. Okay, what's next? I really like this. However, NUGT, the gold miners, option is stepping up very nicely. It's at the top of the leader as percentage change from the previous trading day. We get pretty nice spread here. Not too far, not too open. Our chart looks to be trending upward from the 9:30 open. Now we see Netflix has moved up in our percentage change. Let's take a quick look at that. We have some kind of seesawing going on here. We have decent spreads here. I'm going to go back and look at NVIDIA. The chart, nothing fantastic. A lot of range from high to low. I'm going to go back with NUGT, see where we are here. The RMI is looking pretty healthy here, upward trends. Now that we have some decent volume in NUGT, by the way, you put your cursor over here and it tells you exactly what it is. This is Direction Daily Gold Miners. Okay, we see the July 21st 30 strike, and we're going to buy it's at 101.98. It's trending up and down. I think we're going to go for 10 contracts. We have a nice tight spread here. Seem to have a problem. It's trending up, so we're not getting our limit. So let's go for 101, 102, the mid-range. Many times we don't want to chase, but it's a good indicator that we're buying into strength. Okay, we waited it out, and there we go. We got filled 10 contracts. Now we can keep an eye on it through our portfolio tab here. This gives us the unrealized profit, our average price, the market price, and the market value. So I'm going to pause there, and we're going to look at it a little later. Let's go back to the stock chart before I leave. We want to inspect that to make sure we're haven't made a mistake. Right here at 9:30 a.m. right at the mark, we're seeing an uptrending chart. The day before the last trading day was Friday. Pretty mixy, up and down. This is a high volatility stock. However, that's what we want when we look at option trading. We want to be on the side of a positive IV change. Keep that in mind, and we're going to come back to this in half an hour or 20 minutes and see where we stand. Should we bail or hold tight? See you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's check our nugget, as in gold nugget. We can look here and see that our average price is $1.03, and the market is $1.10, giving us an unrealized profit of $76. What I'm going to do is go ahead and close, put a limit in for 10%. Close it. As we can see here again, our average price was $1.03. I'm going to put that up. Always have your trusty calculator. Well, what am I looking for? I'd like to get 10%. I can go even higher. But what's the risk? The market today is a little bit weak. The futures are up only, let's say, 0.5%. The Dow is like down 0.02%. S&P 500 0.01 cents. I think the market's pretty weak. So what I'm going to do is just try to get my 10% and get out. Use my trusty calculator here. Give me 10%. So my limit price should be $1.13. But I've got more than that, as we can see right here. The midpoint is $1.17. I'm going to stretch a little bit. I'm going to go for, let's say, 25 cents. $1.25. I got filled. Wait a second, why did it cancel the order? Huh. we've actually got more than 10%. Let's see how this works again. We're going to try to close it. At the midpoint, $1.18. I'm going to try to get $1.25. Okay, we've got our limit order in at $1.25. Let's go back to our chart to see if we have any weakness. Let's go back and look at 2 days, see where we stand. Insofar as levels, here we see we had support at around 55%, and now we're up to $1.18. Let's take a look at the overall stock. Our RMI is trending strongly higher. As we can see, our support is here. We're just hitting resistance at $30.52. It might be a bit of a stretch to get up to $1.25 for each contract. My 10% mark was $1.13. Let's not get greedy. I think it will trend stronger during the day. But hey, I think I'm going to try to take profits and go fishing. See if I can get $1.15 out of that. What's our stock chart telling us? We're kind of a little bit range bound here. As we can see, everything is pretty much stalled. I'm going to try to get our limit in at $1.13. There we go. We got our 10% less commissions. As you can see, things move quite rapidly. Normally I do set a target price of 10%, and that's good enough. I made an example of how we can go for more, but what is the risk to reward if we wait longer? We could miss, and then we're back to break even or even a loss. So there's nothing wrong with taking profits at 10% within a half an hour of the open. As we can see here, RMI is leveling off. It was a good decision to go ahead and take things off the table at $1.13. Very prudent. I missed a spike, but who cares? I mean, 10% is great. So that's it for today. See you next time. And thanks for joining.